Welcome to the Game On Coaching Training Series. In this video we're going to be having a look at the second step of the coaching process, which is planning. So in the first step of the coaching process, in observation, you were able to see what your player is doing that's working for them and what the player is doing that's not working so well for them. The reason that we're focusing on what they're doing is that that's the place that you're looking to change. That's what's going to lead to the result that you're both after. So we're not coaching around results. We're not coaching our player around the results that they're achieving. You both know that it's not working so well. That's common cause. So there are two critical things that you've got to achieve in planning to have a good coaching session. The first one is to figure out which skill your player is going to benefit most from changing in this next coaching cycle. The reason we're doing this is we need to keep the amount of change that your player is working with at any one point in time quite small and compact. We don't want to overload them with too many things to change. Overloading them means that the learning process is just going to break down and they're going to learn very little. So overloading them is going to be really risky and cause the coaching relationship to break down. The second thing that you're trying to achieve in the planning process is to become really, really clear as the coach what this player could be doing differently from what they're doing now to get the result that they're trying to achieve. What you'll find is if you walk into a coaching session really clear on what your player could be doing differently, you're going to find that your coaching session flows really easily. It feels easy to yourself and it feels easy to the player that you're coaching. Your player is also going to feel very empowered and they're going to feel quite appreciated by the fact that a coach is taking the time to actually figure out how they can be working better. What you're also going to find is that the coaching session is going to get shorter and shorter. So once you've got practiced at this and you're preparing really well and clearly, you're going to find that you can have a really successful, productive coaching session in between 15 and 20 minutes. Your player is going to leave that coaching session with a really clear idea of what it is they're going to do differently after the coaching session and how it is that they're going to practice that new skill so that they can groove it into their subconscious. So if you get those two things right, keep it small, be really clear on what the player could be doing differently to get the better result, you're going to have really effective, short, easy coaching sessions. And your player is going to go from strength to strength as they groove one skill after the next, so that they're able to execute skills, even under pressure, really, really effectively. So let's have a look at how the Game On coaching system supports the planning process. Let's go there now.
So the first thing we see when we log in is the team that we coach and some summary information about what's going on with all of them. So we've been observing Tekello and we've got a clear idea of where it is that we're wanting to work in the next coaching session. So we're going to go and set up a coaching plan for him. So we go and select a new focus plan. Bring up a wizard and we're going to coach the game of inbound calls. And here we're going to decide now, we're wanting to focus the coaching session on the skills that Tekello is going to benefit most from changing. So what we've observed is that the resolve area is where we want to work. So these performance areas here are things that you can observe the player doing while they're actually playing the game, which is inbound calls. So they're starting off connecting with the customer, going through clarifying, setting the call agenda and so on until they get to wrapping up. Support competencies are different from those. Those are things that support the game being played. So for sports people, that's things like fitness and ball skills. In this case, these are knowledge areas that the consultant or the player needs to have understood in order to help customers. So we're just going to select one, ways to pay, And now we're going to get more detailed or more refined about where it is we want to work exactly within these two areas we've chosen. So you can see that there's a number of skills that make up this performance area called resolve. We see that informing before silence is doing a good job of that, following the process, and so on. Doing a good job of all these things. The place that we observed Tekelo struggling is checking if we'd scored the customer's goal and celebrating that. So I'm going to give that a poor rating, and we're going to select it to coach. In ways to pay, we noticed that Tekelo had some difficulty working with customers and debit orders. So we're going to coach that. And then we're going to move on. So now we get to that next magical piece where we've narrowed the coaching session down. We started off with some performance areas, and then we narrowed it down further to the individual skills within the performance area that we wanted to coach. And now what we're going to do is we're now looking forward to say, okay, so where is Tekelo going to make change? So before we're going to have a discussion around what needs to be different, the first thing we need to start off with is what's working well. And then we can save this. Now we get to the magical piece. What could Tekelo do differently next time? So what he's going to do differently next time is confirm with the customer whether they've actually got what they called for. So this is really important that we have this kind of formula of what are you doing well, so that we can start on a positive, move them forward into some change action around what they could do differently next time. Do you notice that we're not dwelling on the past, on what Tekelo might have done wrong in the past? We're rather leading him into the future where he can make change. And then we're providing Tekelo with some context or a principle behind why it is that it would be useful to do it differently in the future, and what kind of benefit he can expect from doing it differently. And then we just need to put some notes around what Tekelo needs to master in ways to pay, around the conversation around we manage it for you. Okay, so we're done with that. We've now got our coaching session planned, so we click finish, and we now have a coaching plan that we're able to coach.
So that's how you plan a coaching session in the Game On coaching system. I wish you the best of luck. My invitation to you is invest the time in planning. It'll pay itself off 10 times over when you run coaching sessions. You'll have more empowered players, you'll have better improvement, and you'll be spending less time coaching, getting your players off the floor, off the field. So remember, keep what's working, Change what isn't, one thing at a time. Catch you in the next video.